Hello my friends and welcome back to All the Mods 10. As you can see, I've done some work on clearing out our little island area, and we've got some cool things planned for today, so hang tight as we jump right into it. Alright, so first thing, last week I said that our storage problems were solved. That was not correct. So we're going to need to get this figured out a little bit more. We don't have any redstone though. So that's going to be kind of a big difficulty there. But I don't want to come back to my little island and have it be covered with mobs again. So we're going to need to figure out how to light this place up. And for that, I'm going to use Ars Nouveau. There's some interesting magic stuff we can do here as far as lighting things up. But first, we're going to need a scribe's table, which just takes some of that archwood and a little bit of gold. So it shouldn't be too hard there. Let's throw that like that. Bada bing, bada boom. We got a scribe's table. Now, this table is particularly cool because, where should I put it? Here's fine. When we right-click it with our spell book, it allows us to craft new spell glyphs. And the one we're particularly interested in right now is Conjure Mage Light. It requires a torch and a lantern, which we got from that tower last week. But this essentially allows us to put torches everywhere with our wizard book. So, where did the lantern go? Well, we may have left it behind. Okay. It is what it is. We can just craft up another one here. Okay, so we have a lantern and a torch, and how this works is we right click here and we select the glyph we want to craft, and then you see there's items floating up here. We have to throw our ingredients into it and it writes us up a little glyph that we can then use to learn that glyph. So now you can see we have the Conjure Mage Light glyph ready to use. Now this has two interesting effects, and so we'll create two spells for it. The first one, if we use the self glyph, where we target ourselves, and we mix that with the Conjure Mage Light, it will give us night vision. And now that's a particularly useful spell. It gives it for about 30 seconds, as you can see here. So caving and things like that are going to be made significantly easier. But the other thing we can do is we can say projectile mixed with conjure. Probably touch makes it a little cheaper. This is essentially a torch. So if we go ahead and press F7, we can see all these spawnable blocks here. And if we do that, now you see that it lights it up pretty well, actually. So I'll just go around and light this area up with our little glowing mage lights. Something interesting you can do with it as well is you can change the color. And we all know how much I love blue, so I'll add that here, and now you can see it's a blue light instead of those pink ones. And actually, I'm going to change these out. So I'll go around and light it all up, and then we'll be back in just a sec. Okay, now that we've, lit up our magical little home, we should be safe to go off and do some exploring. But one thing about ours is every time you use a spell, it costs some mana, as you can see in the bottom left. We don't have a lot right now since we're just getting into it, so that'll probably be another thing that we should try and focus on for today's episode. On our map, I noticed over here by Azurmiark, there's these, and I believe these are redstone caves, and getting a good source of redstone would be incredibly helpful for our storage necessities. So I'm going to go over and snag some of that, and then we might do a little bit of get started on some more Ars Nouveau things. Okay, here we are, and look at this. This is most definitely one of those redstone caves. So we'll take a look in here and see what we can gather. Alrighty, it is starting to become nighttime, and I think we've got all the redstone we'll need for quite a while. I also grabbed some lead, copper, iron, and some of this inferium while we were down there. So that will be kind of a cool head start for later. So time to just head on back home and put some of those chests together. Okay, so I smelted up some of this copper here, and oh, hello. What are you? Okay. Strange. These guys are kind of cute. What are you? Oh, bamboo creeper. Okay, well, as long as I have my cat boots on, they'll leave me alone, and they're kind of adorable. Look at the way they walk, all bobbling around. That's kind of cute. Okay, well, anyway, hammers. We need some sticks. Where did I put all my sticks? There we go. This is basic ore doubling. You take 2 blocks and throw some sticks down the middle, and now we can take this copper ore hammer and some raw copper, and we bash it to pieces. So each one of these raw copper gives us 2 copper dust, which can be smelted into more copper. So that essentially gives us some pretty basic ore doubling right off the bat, which is quite nice. We've got some gold in here that could be worth doubling. Doesn't look like much else though. So, but that certainly makes things a little bit easier resource-wise. So the next thing on our list is getting some more mana so we can use our book a little bit better. And to do that, we're going to make some wizard robes. Oh, hello. Apparently, our island was not entirely spawn-proofed. What did I miss? Are they coming out of the trees? Okay. Well, they're coming out of the trees. So we'll change this to projectile based, and we'll put some lights up. Okay, well, that didn't really work the way that I thought it would. Throw some lights up in the trees. Had some interesting frame rate issues for a minute there, and I hope that it is fixed. So we'll see, won't we? But anyway, back to making sure that we're not getting a bunch of spawns in the trees, I suppose. Okay, we might be a bit safer now. So back to what we were originally doing. Here's another interesting thing that we can do with these furnaces. Similarly to how we upgraded the chests, we can throw a furnace in the middle and throw some iron around it, and it's essentially an upgraded furnace, which is quite nice in my opinion. So we can throw that there, put our iron back, and bada bing, bada boom. It even has an upgrade slot where we can eventually change it to run on power, like throw a solar panel behind it or something like that, so we don't have to worry about fuel so much. But that's, you know, and we can upgrade it to, I think the next tier is gold and then diamond, and so it goes all the way up. Can be very heavily upgraded, but as you can see, it increases the speed quite a bit. Honestly, ores are going to be something that's particularly important, especially right at the beginning. So doing a little bit of cave diving could be useful. So I will probably cut the recording and cut back on after I've gotten some good stuff from that. Okay, so just made it back from that mining expedition, which was particularly effective. We got some stellarite pieces, a decent amount of diamonds. We've got quite a bit of iron and a number of interesting artifacts and things to explore. So that's particularly exciting. The first thing I'm going to do is set aside 24 plus 3 of those. These are the diamonds that we're allowed to work with for random stuff, like maybe upgrading this iron furnace, but definitely upgrading it to gold is going to be particularly effective here. So let's do that. Bada bing, bada boom. What can we upgrade it further? It takes 6 to make it into the diamond version, 6 and some glass, and then 8 emeralds, and that would bring it down to cook time of 40. That's going to be extremely fast. We don't have the ability to upgrade it that far just yet, but doing this should not be a problem. Hi, I'm going to remove these. Do we have sand anywhere? Oh no, no sand. Do we really not have sand? That's hilarious. One of the interesting things I acquired is night vision goggles, so I don't need to use the night vision from my spell book. Saves us quite a bit of mana. Vampiric gloves, which are pretty self-explanatory. You hit things and you heal. Extra health charm. Cloud in a bottle, which gives us extra jumps in the air. And a magnet, which the magnet, that is some good stuff, to say the least. How do we really not have sand? Do we have a way to craft sand? Yeah, nothing comes to mind. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna have to go on another short expedition to get some sand. I will be right back. Okay, well, I think this may be enough sand for the moment. Hello. There we go. And so we need 2 pieces of glass. Okay, well, we'll let this run to give us a stack of glass. But, you know, we're only going to really need 2 of them. It is what it is. Okay. 6 pieces of glass, or 6 diamonds and 2 pieces of glass. Boom. Now where is those emeralds? We'll take that and throw it like that. Cook time of 40. So this emerald furnace is gonna be seriously cooking, if you know what I mean. Okay, and now we've got a nice little place to throw smeltables until we can get that running off of. You see how it has the up at the top, essentially an energy bar, so we can upgrade this to use Fe instead of coal. The next thing that we were looking at doing today was getting some upgrades done for our Ars Nouveau setup. And to do that, what we're going to want to do is grab our diamonds. And we're going to make a full set of diamond armor. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at that. Okay. So, with this diamond armor, we're going to be making the Battle Mage's suit, which apparently can be dyed. Interesting. But requires mage bloom fiber. So these mage bloom fibers are grown from mage bloom, which require mage bloom seeds, which requires 4 of these source gems in an enchanting apparatus. So there's quite a process we're going through here. To get the source gems, we need an imbuement chamber. So it's going to be a bit of a process. Alright, so I think for our last step, I've got some stone smelting here. But in the meantime, there is a new glyph we're going to create. So with our mining, it essentially can only break up to the level of an iron pickaxe, because that's what we used to create this book. So making the book shouldn't be the same as, acquiring diamonds. But now that we have diamonds, more specifically a diamond pickaxe, we can make a glyph in tier 1 called Amplify. And what this does is it increases the power of the spells. In particular, break will increase the mining level so that we can mine things as if we had a diamond pickaxe. So, and all it takes is just one diamond pickaxe. There we go. And now we'll be able to mine things like obsidian and netherite. But if you see down in the bottom here, this is how much mana it takes to cast this spell. And if we add amplify in there, it essentially doubles it. So we should only use the amplify essentially when we need it, because otherwise it is incredibly expensive. In order to make these arcane cores and some of these other bits and pieces here, we need source stone. And so source stone is created by crafting 8 stone around a source gem. So we can do that right now. We can throw our stone around the gems just like that. And now we've got some source stone here to play around with. First step, so for each of these, I guess we're going to need some more source gems, so I can show you how those get made. We use our imbuement chamber. We can throw that down right there. And we can throw either lapis or amethyst in there. We've got more lapis. And it's relatively slow right now because we don't have source. That's essentially the power of this mod. So we can't really speed this up until we've got a good source production going. But in the meantime, we can craft our enchanting apparatus. Takes some golden nuggets. I believe we have just the right amount right here. So this here is our enchanting apparatus. It's going to be how we kind of put stuff together in this mod. So we'll with these source gems here, we can craft up an arcane core, which goes underneath. We'll move this over here a little ways. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? It's got like a little amethyst ball hovering in the center. It's pretty neat. So then we can throw this enchanting apparatus up on the top of that there. And it's essentially a crafting table because we're going to put 8 pedestals. Well, we're starting with 4 just because that's cheaper and it's all we need right now. But around here, and then something else goes in the middle, and it will craft us up whatever we're kind of aiming for there. So an arcane pedestal here. Oh, requires some more of these the nuggets. And they look cool just like this. You can throw them down like that, and we can throw stuff on top of them. But you can also flatten them out by crafting them like this. And it makes an arcane platform. You can craft them back and forth. But this essentially is a flatter version. And I'll throw those in the corners so that it makes it easier to see what we're doing when we've got, 8 of them going on. But those are going to be an important part of that. We may be able to actually craft an agronomic source link, which essentially generates source from growing plants. So that could actually be quite helpful if we had some wheat. I actually have some seeds here, and we can craft up one of those. We'll come over here and throw our seeds down. Craft up some wheat here. And we should be able to craft up one of these. So it's cheap for now, and it's not very fast, but as these grow, it will it'll throw source into these jars, which can help power our crafting. It doesn't work if you bone meal it though, so that's something we just have to be patient for. Also, I absolutely adore these bamboo creepers. They're so cute. Whoever designed those, thank you for this wonderful gift. Because those things are absolutely adorable. I'm actually going to pick this up. Toss it over here. But we do have enough source gems now to craft the last of our arcane pedestals. The ones that we're at least going to need to make this mage bloom seed. While that is crafting, the other thing that we should take a look at is our quest book up here. I did get some extra components by completing some quests here, including the source stone. And this quest is asking us to make 8 arcane pedestals. And that'll essentially unlock these quests. But 8 arcane pedestals is a little expensive. However, we seem to have completed quests from all over. So, if we go over here by our little storage system, and we click to collect all the rewards, looks like we got quite a lot of cool stuff here. Furnace upgrades, source jar, quite a lot of experience. Some blazing archwood, which is going to be useful for a new source of sorts later on. Furnace upgrades, some diamonds, some gold. That's quite nice. So we can throw a bunch of this stuff up here. I'd like to take these with me though. Oh, and that's backpack upgrades. That's going to be very cool. Very useful. Furnace upgrades. Look at that. The power of completing some of those quests is absolutely insane. Oh, and look at that. Source gems right off the bat. So, I guess we may not actually... We might be able to complete those quests. And we had some stone in here too that we got to make some more of that source stone. So we might actually be good to go as far as... Yeah, look at that. One of these things grew and now we have 1% full on that. Beautiful. Beautiful. We'll just need to make sure to find a way to automate the harvesting of those for the future. But let's craft up. We need more source stone. So let's throw those there. Some more source stone. We'll need, well, if we're making 4 pedestals, we should have enough nuggets. We only need 4 of these. Bada bing, bada boom. We will need more later, but that's a problem for later us. Okay. Well, that's a little annoying. Can't mine the blocks from the mod with the mod. But either way, that allows us to complete that quest, which I believe we can get some stuff from that. We can get some stuff from that. This is how they show you to do it. I like to do mine differently, but essentially as long as it's within, I believe it's a 3-block radius, it works just fine. So we can throw those down like that. I'll craft these into the platform version. And now this is our little ritual crafting table where we can create our first Mage Bloom seed. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's go throw this down over here and see about bone mealing it up. That's actually all the Mage Bloom that we needed. Of course, they want us to craft more seeds than that, but I'm not particularly interested in that because each of these gives us 4. So now we actually have all of the Mage Bloom fiber that we need to craft our brand new armor. Look at that. We don't need this junk anymore. This random stuff we found in caves and things. Because we have these. And notice it says plus 30 max mana, plus 1 mana regen. This upgrades our mana bar and how fast it fills back up. So it's going to heavily increase basically our spellcasting ability as we go along. And it can be upgraded as well, eventually, even to like an all-the-modium level, for those of you who have been to the end game of this pack. You'll know what that is, and I actually found some earlier, couldn't mine it because you need netherite, but, oh hi, but I found some and marked it with a little pin so we can go back and find that again. Found a deep dark biome and was lucky enough to evade the warden, because that could have gone particularly bad, but we did manage to get that done. So we now have the Battle Mage suit, and let's take a look at how many spells we can cast. This is our projectile mine. I mean, that's significantly more, and of course those are just going to fade off into the wilderness, but that's kind of huge for us. So we've got our upgraded storage. We've got really quite a fast furnace system. We've got some source. We've upgraded our armor essentially to diamond tier. And we have upgraded our mana bar so that we can cast more spells more frequently. So I think today's episode was pretty productive. We've even got these adorable little guys. So I think that will have to be it for today. I will see you all next week.